Hello, humans, ghouls, and mutated fools. My name is Mara, and I'm a mutated zombie, and we are playing Medieval Fantasy Survival Simulator today. It is another game from Random Studios, the makers of The Test Hypothesis Rising, and, all the other The Test games that there's like two more. But this is another game where your actions have an impact. And I love games where your actions have an impact. So let's go ahead and dive into this and see what nonsense we run into. Damn, this music is good. Malicious. Well, well, well. Look what the storm dragged in. If it isn't another wanderer seeking knowledge and self-reflection, I've seen many of your kind, you know. Oh, so this is another one of those. Okay. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Malicious Decimus. Soldier, general, instructor, and keeper of the lost art of warfare. Okay. I've hunted down evil men across the lands. I have slain beasts with my bare hands. I have toppled kings who sit up high. I have seen hellfire rain from the sky. We have another rhymer. If you've come to test your mettle, then you've come to the right man. But if you've come looking for trouble, perhaps you should rethink your plan. I'm not here for trouble. Something tells me that you're not here for that, though. No. You're here for something else. Something more modest than combat. You're here to test yourself. See if you have what it takes to cut it in a war-torn kingdom, marching on the battlefield, playing war games and politics, and devising strategies of destruction. I do like strategies. You're here to see just how far your spirit can take you, to see if you have the sense to stay alive in a disastrous situation, to see whether your path leads to gold and riches or certain death. Oh, I hope I don't die. Yes. I can already tell that you aren't like the others that lay beneath our feet. There's something about you that's just different. Oh! Oh, is it like a cemetery? I guess they're putting their dead where they're putting their battlefield and riches? Okay. Mind you, different does not mean worthy. Let's find out what may or may not set you apart from the rest, shall we? I'm going to present you with a series of questions and scenarios, and you're going to provide answers, solutions, and plans of action for me. Okay. Some of your answers may be wise, some of them not so much. But rest assured, you will be judged accordingly. Okay, so this is another game where I'm being judged for my actions, choices. Okay. The most important part of this examination is to take your time and answer with complete and utter honesty. Do not rush. Do not falter. The solution to many of these scenarios may seem obvious at first, but I urge you to take your time and think about them thoroughly before providing a response. That might be a problem. I like to go with my knee-jerk reaction sometimes, but I will try. It would be wise to remember those words as we progress. Now, let's get started. We don't have time to kill. Only enemies. Many enemies. Let's go! The examination begins. Now! Damn, I want this soundtrack. It's so good. Would you consider yourself to be patient? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be fearful? No. Do you believe in the existence of a higher power? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be brave? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be intelligent? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be charismatic? No. Have you ever engaged in hand-to-hand combat? Yes. Would you say that you hate losing? Nah. Would you consider yourself to be a sore loser? Nah. Would you consider yourself to be a sore winner? Nah. Would you consider yourself to be athletically fit? Nah. Would you consider yourself to be physically strong? Nah, but I'm getting there. Would you consider yourself to be a natural leader? I'm gonna say yes. Would you consider yourself to be agile? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be more flexible than the average person? I used to be, but not anymore. Would you consider common sense to be one of your strong points? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be open-minded? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be quick-witted conversationally? No. I used to be, but my brain is kind of just frying and aging and words. Decomposing! That's the word. Would you describe yourself as clever? Yes, sometimes. Would you say that you're a people person? Yes, but I don't want to be. Would you say that you're a people pleaser? No. Are you afraid of what others think of you? No, more people who I consider friends and family and stuff like that. Do you have an irrational fear? Do you have any irrational fears that you'd consider to be embarrassing? All irrational fears are kind of embarrassing, but I feel like they're also understandable when you explain them, so no. Can you speak more than one language fluently? No, I wish. Would you consider yourself to be hot-headed? Nah. Do you ever feel that you sometimes enjoy conflict? No. Do you generally attempt to avoid conflict whenever possible? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a free thinker? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be prideful? No. Would you consider yourself to be judgmental? No. Do you sometimes enjoy eavesdropping on others' conversations? No. Have you ever been betrayed by a friend? Yes. Have you ever been betrayed by a family member? Yes. Have you ever been betrayed by someone close to you? Oh, have you ever betrayed someone close to you? Not that I know of. Would you ever kill an animal? If I needed to survive, yes. Have you ever killed an animal? No. Do you think you could manage to survive alone in the wilderness for 30 days? Depends on the season, so I'm going to say yes, because it depends on the season. Would you consider yourself to be a strategist? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a warrior? Ooh, that'd be so cool. Yes. Would you consider yourself to be resourceful? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be mentally healthy? No. Would you consider yourself to be well-educated? Yes. Do you enjoy playing with fire? No. I like watching it, but not playing with it. Have you ever been afraid of the dark? Yes, and then I learned I was afraid of what was in it, so. Have you ever had a phobia of spiders? No. Would you ever consider a job in security? No. Would you consider yourself to be a talented chef? No. Do you follow directions easily? Sometimes, depends on the directions. Would you consider yourself to be innovative? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be competitive? If I can get somebody to compete with me, yes. Would you consider yourself to be a winner in life? Right now, yes. Has the field of toxicology ever intrigued you? Yes. Could you ever see yourself living as a farmer? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a gambler? No. Would you consider yourself to be talented in an unusual way? No. Could you envision yourself enjoying the life of a battlefield surgeon? Enjoying? No. That's very stressful. Could you envision yourself enjoying the life of an alchemist? I am very bad at... Well, I was very bad at chemistry in high school, so no. Would you consider yourself to be self-motivated? Yes. Do you ever find that you lack discipline? Yeah, I really should stick to my meal plans. Would you consider yourself to be a cautious individual? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be protective of your loved ones? Yes. Could you see yourself finding happiness even if you are the only person left alive on Earth? Not happiness, but I'd be content. Do you often seek an adventurous life? No. Would you consider yourself to be a risk taker? No. Would you consider yourself to be reckless at times? No. Do large crowds give you anxiety? Yes, especially right now. Do loud noises tend to distract or scare you? Yes. Do you consider yourself to be attractive in the traditional sense? No. Do you believe that everyone has their vices? Yes. Could you happily live the life of a professional thief? Probably, yeah. Are you confident in your ability to thwart off an attacker in one-on-one unarmed combat? No. No, I need a weapon. Do you work well under pressure? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be goal-oriented? Sure. Do you work well with others? When I have to. Do you have a lack of respect for authority? No. Do you feel that everyone is created equally? No. Have you ever judged someone solely based on their appearance? Yes. Do you believe every person deserves a second chance? Yes. If you were in charge of the royal dungeons, would you use torture to extract information from your prisoners? Depends on what they did, but yes, I would. Could you see yourself living the life of a royal advisor? Yeah, sure. I give good advice sometimes. Could you see yourself living the life of a peasant? Definitely. Would you be willing to assassinate the enemy king in order to save your kingdom? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a glutton for punishment? No. Does the sight of blood make you queasy? No. Does the sight of blood excite you? Nah. Well, nah. Do you think you'd be well suited to manage food and ration usage for a marching army? No. No. Anything with numbers, keep it away from me. Could you see yourself enjoying the life of a chef or a baker? Yes. Baker! Could you see yourself being a bandit and stealing from others if you had to in order to survive? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be courageous? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be wise beyond your years? Yes. Has anyone ever stolen something from you and got away with it? I'm pretty sure I know anytime somebody's stolen from me, so no. Have you ever stolen something from someone else? Like from a store when I was a child and I did not know that it was wrong. So technically, yes. Do you think that an apocalypse is likely to come in your lifetime? Yes. Do you have a fear of the unknown? Yes. If someone hit you for no reason, would your first reaction be to hit them back? No, I'd probably look at them and be like, what the hell? If someone robbed you, would you wish to seek revenge? Yes, by robbing them back. Have you ever truly hated someone? No, just a strong dislike. Have you ever felt hated? Yes. Do you view yourself as a hero at times? No. Do you view yourself as a villain at times? No. Do you wish to live a life of riches beyond measure? I would like to be able to measure my riches, so no. Would you be happy living a very simple, quiet life? Yes. Are you actively pursuing your dreams in life? Right now, kind of, sort of, a little bit. Do you live a life of many regrets? Yes. Do you know how to forgive yourself in order to progress through the hardest of times? It is hard, but yes. Would you consider yourself to be fortunate compared to others? Yes. Do you think you could live the life of a blacksmith? No, I don't do well with heat. But that would be epic. Well now, I was not expecting you to answer some of those questions the way you did. I must say, I'm intrigued by your personality and quite eager to pick your brain a bit further before giving my analysis. Those questions were merely the beginning. We've hardly scratched the surface, but believe me, we most certainly will be breaking through soon enough. Okay. This next set of questions will challenge your decision-making abilities. Some of these questions may be easy to answer. Some of them will prove to be difficult to the rational-minded. I urge you to make your choices very carefully and think about the potential rewards and consequences of your decisions. Are you ready to begin? I'm scared. A rhetorical question. We'll be starting now. If you were marching on the battlefield, would you rather have more rations of food or more rations of water? Water, because I'm marching on the battlefield, so I'll tire out easily. Because when you're marching, you lose your sweat, so more water. If you were in charge of a victorious army fresh off the battlefield, would you choose to take prisoners or execute prisoners? I would take prisoners. In order to siege an enemy fortress, would you rather use fire or battering rams? Battering rams! Would you rather be in charge of stronger troops or smarter troops? Smarter troops. Would you rather fight against an army of the living or an army of the dead? Army of the dead. Would you rather attack by air or attack by sea? I'm gonna say by air. I feel like it's because of wind, it's harder to direct attacks. While by sea, you're so slow moving and you're so much easier to catch. Would you rather build your fortress in the snow or build your fortress in the swamp? Snow. Would you rather rule with an iron fist or a peaceful heart? Peaceful heart, thank you. Would you rather lead or follow? Oh, it depends who I am following. I'd rather follow, but if the leader is a crappy leader, then I'd rather lead. You know? I'm gonna say worst case scenario for this is, so I'm gonna go with lead because I don't want to follow someone that's crap. Would you rather befriend the enemy or slay the enemy? Depends on who the enemy is, but then again, I could befriend them and then slay them. Befriend first. If your supplies are limited, would you rather feed your army or feed your horses? Ooh. Army. They need their strength. Would you rather have an army comprised mainly of fast but unarmored units or slow but heavily armored units? Slow, heavily armored. Would you rather be an archer or cavalry? I already know that I suck at archery. Like, I wish I was awesome at it. So I'm gonna go with cavalry. Thanks. Would you rather be a spy or an assassin? Ooh. Ooh. Spy, because as an assassin you gotta get out fast, but as a spy, they don't know you're there, so you can just grab things and go. Would you rather be a scout or infantry? Ooh. Scout. Would you rather bury your dead or eat your... Bury the dead. Do not eat the dead. That is how zombies happen. That is how you die. Do not eat bad meat. Would you rather be cursed with constant drunkenness or extreme fatigue? Constant drunkenness. Would you rather be superstitious or overly pragmatic? Overly pragmatic. Superstitions can cause very, very bad things like the witch trials. Would you rather be armed with magic or armed with weaponry? Ooh. Magic, because barriers and like long range magic missile sort of things. If you were fighting a battle that you know couldn't be won and there was no foreseeable escape, would you rather surrender or go down swinging? This is hard. If I'm in a battle That means that I really believe in this thing. So I'm gonna say go down swinging. Would you rather go back in time or forward in time? Back in time. If I go forward in time, I might end up, like, at the end of the world without meaning to. If I go back in time, at least I can, like, avoid certain catastrophes. When engaging in combat, would you rather use a sword and shield or a two-handed axe? Sword and shield! Would you rather build and lay traps or organize ambushes? Organize ambushes. To determine who wins the war, would you rather engage in many skirmishes or a few battles? Few battles. Lower the chance of people dying and getting injured. Would you rather defend your garrison or attack an enemy garrison? Defend. Would you rather train warriors or train spies? Train warriors. Would you rather invest in livestock or crops? Ooh. I'm gonna go with crops. Would you rather fight from a distance or engage in close quarter combat? Close quarters. Fight dirty. Would you rather pray for a blessing on your troops or curse on your enemies? Blessing, please. Would you rather be incredibly lucky or incredibly intelligent? Intelligent. Would you rather be able to raise someone from the dead once a year or instantly kill someone just by looking at them once a year? Raise someone from the dead, because instantly kill, there are some things attached to that might be difficult to keep hold of, so raise someone from the dead. Would you rather build or destroy? Build. Would you rather have world peace where everyone gets along despite their differences, or dominate the world and dictate what people do and when they do it? World peace and freedom for all. Would you rather have the ability to teleport instantly or turn invisible? Teleport! Would you rather forgive or forget? Forgive. Would you rather be a victim or an assailant? Victim. Would you rather be able to heal yourself or heal others? Heal others. Would you rather trust an enemy or betray a friend? Trust an enemy. Would you rather save the life of an animal or save the life of a person? Person. I hate you. Would you rather walk barefoot through the snow or barefoot through the desert? Desert. The snow, you could get freaking frostbite and then lose your feet. If you had to defend yourself using only a dagger, would you rather fight off a lion or fight off a bear? A lion. Would you rather camp for a week in the torrential rain or a single day during a snowstorm? Snowstorm! Would you rather kill or be killed? If it's a matter of life or death, I will kill. Would you rather enter a jousting tournament or a sword fighting tournament? Ooh, ooh, oh, That's hard. I'm going to say jousting, because I learned a little bit of sword fighting, and man, it's tiring, but I haven't learned jousting yet. So I'm going to go with the one that I do not yet know. Oh wait, but jousting, you gotta like, that's even heavier. So, okay, I'm going to go with sword fighting. Would you rather enter an archery competition or an axe throwing competition? Axe throwing? Yeah, axe throwing. I've already tried archery a few times. I've tried axe throwing a few times. Let's go with axe throwing. I'm better at that. Would you rather be a gladiator or a soldier? Soldier. Gladiators are basically slaves. Would you rather rob from the rich and give to the needy, or keep what you rob for yourself? Give to the poor. Would you rather be a bandit or a sheriff? Sheriff! Would you rather be a bounty hunter or an assassin? Bounty hunter. Would you rather be a town guard or a palace guard? Town guard. Would you rather be a tailor or a carpenter? Carpenter. No, tailor. Tailor! Would you rather travel by wagon or travel by ship? Wagon. Would you rather live in a forest or live in the Rocky Mountains? Ooh. I'm gonna say mountains because the forest has ticks. Would you rather hunt or fish? Hunt. Would you rather scavenge or forage? Forage. Would you rather give or take? Give. Would you rather have too much food or too much water? Too much water, because food goes bad, and then that sucks. Would you rather have to cook your food over a fire or purify your own water? Cook my food over a fire. Do you believe that war is more mental or physical? Mental. What is more important when training an army? Morale or discipline? Morale. Would you rather starve your troops as punishment or beat your troops? Why? I guess beat them, because if I starve them, that's not good. If, like, I don't want them weak, but if I beat them, then it might not be as weak. Oh, they're both bad options. I hate both of these. I'm gonna go with starve then, because it's not as like, I'm gonna go with starve because beating them, it's just, I don't know, man. It's like, no, I can't. I hate these questions. Would you rather attack during the day or attack during the night? Would you rather defend during the day or defend at night? Defend during the day. Would you rather fight to protect your own land or fight to take someone else's land? Fight for my own. Would you rather let yourself go hungry or let your troops go hungry? Let myself go hungry. Are you more likely to face your fears or find ways to avoid them? Face them. Would you rather join a band of adventurers to go on an epic quest or form your own band of adventurers and lead them on a quest? My nose is stuffed up. Hold on. Would you rather join a band of adventurers to go on an epic quest or form your own band of adventurers and lead them on a quest? I would rather form my own band of adventurers and go on an epic quest. Would you rather become a witch's assistant or hunt an evil witch in the woods? I mean, I could become a witch's assistant that would lead to hunting an evil witch in the woods. Because not all witches are evil. Also, how am I to know that this is actually an evil witch? Also, I don't think I could fight against magic. I am not a magic person, so I'm gonna go with become a witch's assistant. Would you rather hunt a fire-breathing dragon or fight against an army of ogres? Bring on the ogres. I think it's about time we move on from this kind of questioning. I'm a bit baffled, if I'm being honest. My early assessment has proven to be accurate. You most certainly are different from those who have come before you, Wanderer. I have one final examination in store for you. This is far more advanced than anything you've answered thus far. I'm going to present you a series of scenarios, and you're going to use your problem-solving skills to determine what the best course of action may be. You will be presented with 4 possible choices to solve the problem at hand. Some of the choices you make could lead to certain death and instant failure. Some of the choices you make will determine just how special you may be. Again, and I cannot stress this enough, I urge you to make your choices very carefully and think about the potential rewards and consequences of your decisions, Wanderer. Take your time with these, for the fate of your results will lie within the next answers you provide. Now, let us begin and bring this examination to a close. You are tending your fields when you notice an intruder has snuck onto your property and is currently loading sacks of wheat into a wagon, blatantly stealing your food supplies. By the time you catch up to him, he's already jumped onto his horse and taken off down the road. Your horse is in the stable nearby but has fallen ill recently and needs time to recover before you can safely ride it. Your neighbor's horse is nearby for taking, but you and your neighbor are not on good terms and they typically attack intruders on sight. What do you do? Jump onto my horse? No, he's sick. Take my neighbor's horse? No. Take time to ask my neighbor if I can borrow his horse and reason with him. Don't chase after the bandit and let them escape. I would take the time to ask my neighbor because my neighbor might also help me. I mean, if I'm being stolen from, chances are my neighbor's also going to get stolen from. You're in a tavern enjoying a meal after a long day of foraging and hunting when a band of strangely dressed adventurers approach your table. They explain that they've come in search of treasure in a nearby tomb and they'd like you to join them, as you know that area better than they do. In return for your assistance on this quest, they're offering 1/4 of the loot that's recovered from the tombs. What do you do? Accept the deal and join them, haggle to try and get a bigger share of loot, refuse to join them in their tomb raiding expedition, and attempt to raid the tombs on your own before the adventurers can. I'm not going to go raid a tomb, okay? That's dead people stuff. I refuse. It's been a hard winter and your funds are low. You've run out of food and drink and must go to the tavern to acquire sustenance and fill your belly. You have just 100 shillings to last you for the last month of winter, and the price of meals varies from one to another. You begin to scour the menu before making your decision. What do you do? Purchase a large bowl of buttered potatoes for 3 shillings. Purchase a large leg of lamb for 8 shillings. Spend 5 shillings on meat and vegetable stew, stale bread, and some mead. Attempt to steal food when no one is looking and risk the consequences. This is like an actual meal, so I'm gonna go with this one. You and 3 of your closest friends and family have been taken prisoner for a crime that none of you committed. You were all thrown into the royal dungeons for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're not even sure what crime you're being convicted of, but all of you are sentenced to death by guillotine tomorrow at noon. The king has decided to pay your lot a visit and offer you a deal. If one of you comes forth and blindly admits to whatever crimes you're being charged for and accepts the execution willingly, then the remaining 3 will walk free. Alternatively, if any one of you is willing to rat out one of the others first, then the person will be awarded their freedom due to their compliance, and the remaining 3 will be executed. What do you do? Take the hit for the crimes and take the hit for the crimes and sacrifice myself for my loved ones. Blame the crime on one of my loved ones. Stay silent in hopes that someone will step forward and take the hit. Attempt to fight, knowing that it will most likely lead to an instant execution. I would stay silent in hope that someone will step forward and take the hit. Or no, wait, no. Someone will step forward and take... No. I thought this meant, like, someone, like, would come forward, like, the criminal would come forward, but, yeah, no, I'll take the hit. I'm not gonna blame someone else. I'm not gonna stay silent and hope that someone else takes it. I will take the hit. After living the life of a lowly peasant, you decide to save up enough coin to pay for your entry fee into an archery competition. Spend all that you have to enter, and miraculously you win. The grand prize for winning the archery competition is a sack of 100 shillings and a ticket to the royal ball being held at the palace. You own no clothes suitable to even walk through the door, so you stroll down to the tailor shop to buy some new threads, and when you get there, you quickly realize that 100 shillings barely covers the price of such fine linens, and in no time at all, you're broke again. As you're headed to the ball in your fancy new clothes, your garb snags on an old tree branch and rips from top to bottom, leaving a gaping hole and exposing your bare skin underneath. You have not the time nor the funds to repair your clothes, and even if you did happen to have either of those things, the tailor shop is closed for the night. You have an important decision to make. Go to the palace in a ruined, tattered set of clothes, looking like a fool. Switch back to my common clothes, even though I won't meet the dress code. Rob the tailor shop. Don't go to the palace at all. I mean, if I don't meet the dress code, I don't meet the dress code. And then when they're asked, why didn't you dress up? Like, oh yeah, this place sells really shoddy clothing. Everything I bought tore. Do not go there. Driving down the road, returning from the last market of the season where you've pawned off all of your excess goods to make some coin to last you through the winter. You're carrying everything valuable that you possess in your wagon, and you hear that anyone traveling in a wagon should take care. Now the markets are closed because bandits have been seen ambushing travelers and stealing their final season's earnings. As you travel down the long dirt road home, you see in the distance a broken down wagon on the side of the road that appears to be missing one of its wheels. You notice the broken wheel completely split in half, laying in the dirt on the opposite side of the road. Standing next to the wagon is an old lady wearing a tattered leather cloak. You have a spare wheel in the back of your cart in case your wagon happens to break down. What do? Pull over and offer to give your wheel to the old lady. Pull over and try to assist the old lady in fixing her broken wheel. As you pass by, tell the old lady you'll send help and continue on your journey. Slow down and say you'll send help if you pass someone and drive down onward. Seems like a trap. Yeah, it sounds too much like a trap. I would pass by the old lady and tell them I'm just gonna send help and continue on my journey. And I'd probably go back after turning my earnings in. But I'm not gonna slow down or anything. I heard that they're bandits. I'm not. No. You are far from home when you receive word that your dearest sibling is sick and could die at any moment. They could already be dead by the time you receive the letter. You're urged to make it home to say your goodbyes as quickly as possible. You know that there is no known cure for what ails them, and it usually brings a quick and miserable death to those it takes hold of. You tell a close friend of yours the news, and they advise you of a few different options you have for travel. From the sound of the letter and the time it was sent, you believe that your sibling has maybe only a day or two left before they are taken from this world for good. The quickest route is through the mountains, but it's a treacherous journey, and it's advised that no one travels that way until the winter calms down. Violent storms have been battering the mountain range for several months. None who have ventured that direction have been heard from since they departed. You can take a lengthier but relatively safe route and arrive home within 2 full days if you travel through the woods. Then your friend presents you a third option based purely on rumor. There's an old hag on the other end of the woods about half a day's journey in the opposite direction. The old hag is said to have a cure for the disease your loved one suffers from, but you know not of its merit, nor its cost or downfalls. What do? Don't travel at all and stay put. Seek the old hag in the woods. Take the safer path. Take the dangerous path. I mean, if I get the cure and they're dead, like, between the time I get the letter to the time I would arrive, then this is not a valuable option. 3 days is nothing. And chances are the old hag could be a myth. Chances are it would lead me on a bunch of other side quests. So I'm going to take the safer path through the forest. Your king, Lord Frumnar, has heard word of your bravery and skill throughout the lands and called upon you for a very special but very dangerous quest. He wishes for you to retrieve his daughter, Princess Solemn, from the kingdom of Erekal. A treacherous and wicked king reigns over Erekal. However, to prevent a war between the two kingdoms, which would have certainly ended in your kingdom's demise, Lord Frumnar has made a deal with King Reknix of Erekal. Frumnar traded his only daughter, Princess Solemn, so King Reknix may betroth her, but Frumnar has grown depressed and saddened with the decision he made in an effort to save his kingdom. Lord Frumnar is willing to reward you handsomely upon completion of your task to retrieve his daughter. With all your skill and guile, you must sneak into Arakal at night, kidnap the princess, and bring her back safely home, all by your lonesome. On another note, if you are caught, it will surely cause an immediate war between the two kingdoms, and chances are everyone you know and love will die. What do you do? Refuse the offer. I don't want to be responsible for a war. Help my king get the princess back at all costs. Refuse the offer. My king obviously doesn't honor his deals. Betray my king and warn his rival king. Like, this is a thing that people did back in the day. You marry your daughter off to make alliances and such. Also, has she sent word that she is in distress? You're just depressed. I'm gonna refuse the offer. The king obviously doesn't honor his deals. You're hunting in the swamplands, gathering food and various animal pelts to sell at the market to save for dire times. You gather a wagon full of animals ready for processing, and you're about to head home when you see something glistening and moving in the distance. You can't believe your eyes as a magnificent beast of legendary proportions emerges from the tree line in front of you. It's known as the Gemhide Gazelle, a deer-like creature whose hide is covered from top to bottom in rare gemstones, gold, silver, and other various rare metals. The Gemhide Gazelle was said to be worshipped in ancient times and protected by the gods themselves. Legends say encountering one in the wild would bring much luck and prosperity to whoever laid eyes upon its beautiful form. You've heard stories and folktales of such a creature, but always dismissed them and considered it to be tall tales mothers would tell their children at bedtime. But here it stands before you in all its glistening glory. Your wagon is already full, but you can't help but ponder what possibilities the encounter could bring you. What do you do? Kill the creature? No. Leave the creature alone and go about my life. Attempt to capture the creature? No. Follow the creature and track it to see where it lives. Ooh. I would want to follow it and track it. I wouldn't tell anybody about it either. I'd want to know. I'd be curious. You venture into an alchemist shop looking for a potion to help the genital itching. Help with genital itching, okay. But the alchemist informs you that he's all out of gopher root, a key ingredient to concocting such a potion. He doesn't know when he'll get any more in stock and doesn't know where to find it, as it grows wild in far-off foreign lands. However, he informs you that he's just received a set of vials of great power and has only one left to offer. Everything you own must be passed over to the alchemist in return for such a wonder. You will receive a potion that, when imbibed, grants one of 3 magical powers. The powers include superhuman strength unrivaled by any mortal, the ability to breathe underwater indefinitely, and the ability to turn invisible at will. You don't know which ability you will be granted until you drink the potion. I just need to get rid of my genital itching. And if I start to breathe underwater indefinitely, then I could die. Like, above ground. Do I live near a place that I could just jump into the water? Do I turn into a fish? However, with all great things comes equally great consequences. The alchemist tells you of a side effect that has claimed the previous 4 consumers of the potion. While they did, in fact, gain their magnificent power, they all suffered horribly slow and painful death at random intervals upon drinking the potion. The first of which had no signs or symptoms for 20 years and lived a great life before dying. The second only took 3 years before falling ill and meeting his demise. The third is still living today, if you can call being bedridden with a disease slowly turning your body into a festering flesh chamber living. But he got 40 solid years without experiencing any symptoms or ailments. And finally, the 4th consumer is the alchemist himself. He claims to be on the cusp of a groundbreaking discovery that could reverse the negative effects of the potion before they occur. With that being said, he isn't finished with his research and he doesn't know how much longer it might take. What do you do? I just need to kill my genital itching. I don't need it. Refuse the offer, give everything you have and drink, give everything you have, and save the potion in case he finds a cure. Attempt to steal the potion. Refuse the offer. I don't need it. Your sibling has come to you bleeding profusely and missing an arm cut clean off through their torso at the shoulder. They claim they lost their arm in a battle and wish to go back to a neighboring village to take the arm of their assailant, and they're asking you for their assistance in the matter. Upon further interrogation, you learn that your sibling was attempting to rob their assailant's home and steal from them before being met with resistance. They're planning on leaving in the night after receiving medical care and cauterizing their wound. What? You don't have much time to make a decision as they're dead set on carrying out their plan of vengeance, even at the cost of their own health or life. What do you do? They're dumbass. Go to the village myself and hand around on my own. Go with the sibling to take an arm for an arm. Refuse to help my sibling. It's their own fault. Prevent my sibling from going and try to talk them out of it. Prevent the dumbass. You've just made a great deal with a very wealthy customer at the market and are traveling home with a wagon full of shillings. You've never had more money in your entire life, and your primary focus is getting it home as quickly and safely as possible. As you're traveling down the long dirt road home, you notice a familiar face of a merchant friend of yours, along with his wagon by the roadside. However, his face is battered and beaten, his garments torn and ripped, and he's kneeling in the dirt surrounded by 4 bandits with daggers to his throat. He's about to be robbed and executed in cold blood, and whatever decision you make needs to be made quickly. You have weapons of your own in your wagon. You feel confident in your ability to take on one or maybe even 2 bandits simultaneously, but fighting all 4 of them could certainly lead to the death of both you and your friend. What do you do? Keep on driving down the road and just get home safely. What? Get out of the wagon and attempt to fight the bandits. Stop the cart and offer both of your carts for your lives. Attempt to run over the bandits, risking the life of your friend in the process. Why am I... Hey, stop. Just take my cart and their cart and let us live. Traveling home from the market when you see a group of armed men in the distance. As you approach, they block the road and flag you down. They approach your wagon and tell you that, as ashamed as they are to admit it, they're not good people in the eyes of the law. They've robbed, murdered, and pillaged to get by, and their number is about to be up as the king's guard is coming for them, and they will catch up to them in a matter of minutes. They ask you if they can hide in your wagon just until the guards pass and assure you that you won't be questioned too much by the guards, other than if you've seen any mercenaries in these parts lately. If you help them, they promise to guard you and work for you for life. They vow to honor their agreement, as is their mercenary code to do so. However, if you somehow get caught, you know that you'll be executed along with them once the guards get a hold of you. What do you do? Decline their offer and keep driving, but don't tell the guards anything. Accept their offer and help them hide in your wagon. Claim to help them, then turn them in when the guards catch up. Decline their offer, go home, but rat them out. What? I'd help them because, as mercenaries, you're gonna kill people. I can't, say, ooh. You're mildly drunk and sitting by a fireplace in a tavern, enjoying good tunes and a lively audience until you hear a loud and sudden thud. The tavern door swings open so hard that it hits the wooden wall, shakes the entire building. Silence fills the air as you turn your head in wonder. In the doorway stands a tall, cloaked figure staring directly at you. You notice that everything in the tavern has come to a halt. The music has stopped playing, people have stopped moving, and even the fire has stopped flickering as if time itself is frozen. You look back at the still figure before he begins to walk towards you. Is it Death? He sits down in the seat next to the fire, directly across from you, and gazes upon you inquisitively. Before saying a word, he pulls from his cloak 3 objects that radiate with such energy that it sends shivers down your spine. He pulls up a small wooden table, drapes an ancient-looking tapestry over it, and lays the objects upon it. In a gruff, raspy voice, the figure begins to speak in a language you've never heard, but for some reason you can understand fluently. He tells you that he has come to offer you a chance to turn your fortune around in life, but you must gamble with fortune itself. The first item that he presents is a dead man's coin. The second item laid before you is a blackened rabbit's foot. And the third item is a tiny little fairy floating and glimmering inside of a glass jar. The figure explains to you that one of these items is cursed, while the other 2 will bring you incredible fortune. He tells you to make your choice before going silent and still. What do you do? Choose the dead man's coin, the blackened rabbit's foot, fairy in a jar, make no choice and refuse the offer. Well, dead man's coin is a dead man's coin. Why would I want to steal it from the dead? Blackened rabbit's foot, I think it's cursed. Fairy in a jar. Fairy could be evil. Fairy itself could be cursed. But if I let the fairy go, I'm gonna go with the fairy in the jar. You rescue the wife of the town's blacksmith from a disastrous fall as her wagon rolls right off of a cliff. You happen to be in the right place at the right time and manage to pull her up from her demise safely and securely. Once the blacksmith heard of your heroic deeds, he wishes to repay you by crafting a magical sword of your choosing from various rare materials he's acquired over time. The blacksmith will embed hilt of the sword with a jewel, granting power to the sword itself and its bearer. You may choose an emerald of luck, which will bring you great fortune, a ruby of power, which will grant you great strength, a sapphire of intellect, which will grant you great knowledge, or a topaz of quickness, which will grant you incredible speed and agility. What do you do? Speed and agility! This concludes the examination. You made some very interesting choices, Wanderer. After questioning you thoroughly and assessing your skills, I've come to a final conclusion about your chances of surviving in these lands. Firstly, I'd like to say that it's been an honor to assess you. Very few have ever made it as far as you have, and even fewer have had results such as yours. Let's just get right down to it, shall we? I, Malicious Decimus, have determined that your chances of surviving in treacherous and foreboding lands such as these is approximately 0. Is it 0? Yes, just as I thought. You have a 97.5% chance of survival based on your decision-making abilities, quick thinking, wits. Oh, score! There's always the potential for disaster with some of the risks you take. However, you scored much higher than the vast majority of who have come before you. Is that true, though? Well done, Wanderer. Truly, you should be quite proud of yourself. Surviving here is no easy task, and it's certainly not for the weak-hearted. Before we end our examination, I'd like to give you something, a little parting gift, if you will. I'm going to give you a word, and I urge you to remember it clearly. Write it down if you need to, for it will benefit you greatly if you choose to use it properly. Your secret word is honesty. Keep that word close and readily available, for it will unlock great things for you in the future if you're brave enough to venture forth and use it. Farewell, Wanderer, until we meet next time. Stay safe. And stay bloody. Okay. To war! Your result has been based on many different variables and may vary with each playthrough dependent on a multitude of factors. We hope you enjoyed your experience and have learned a little more about how your brain works when presented with different survival situations, conflicts, and altercations. Take the secret word that was assigned to you at the end of your session and leave it in a comment for us. We will be selecting some of you based on your answers to be included in a future project we're currently working on called Chasing Demons, which you can find on Steam. Is that even done? I thought it was done. Oh, wait, no. Chasing Demons is what they're currently working on, isn't it? Hold on. I need to go look at their Steam right now. Yeah, no. It's what they're still working on. Cool, so this is another part of it. We will be taking your name from the comments and placing it in the credits for our upcoming RPG title as a thank you for your participation and support. We really, truly appreciate you, and we look forward to reading your words and thoughts. If you left your secret word for us in other titles, we read your feedback, and it's helped us to construct this project as well as other titles that we're currently developing. We will always read every comment we get. You won't go unnoticed. If you'd like to support us by playing other projects and leaving your secret words for us, we greatly appreciate it, and we'll have a link to our other games on the main title screen. Again, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts, and we hope you got some form of enjoyment from our projects. Okay, so this isn't what I thought it was like. Because I thought it was going to be where we actually are, going on an adventure and making decisions, and our decisions affecting what happens. But it's just another test. I do like the questions in this test. I do like it said how, it gave me a percentage of my survival. That was cool. I do like the music. I want the soundtrack. I am slightly disappointed but I like that it told me my survival ability in a medieval world. That is cool. I appreciate that. If you guys want to know how what your percentage of survivability would be in a medieval fantasy survival simulator, go ahead and click the link in the description because it is there. If you have any other games that you'd like me to try out and play, let me know. The next game I'm going to be playing from Random Studios is the Dad Joke one. I think there's only one Dad Joke game from them, but it says like part 1 or something. But I like puns, so I'm excited to play it, and I hope you all enjoy this somewhat. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, share with your friends and family, maybe your enemies, to like say, I bet you can't survive, and then like, I got 8%, and then you're like, haha, I'm better than you, I got 90%, suck a duck, loser. But yeah, hope you all are having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. Bye!